Hey guys, it's Shannon with Our Piece of Earth, and today I'm going to share what is very possibly my favorite curriculum thing that I've ever come across. And this is we're going into our 5th year of homeschool. So I am a kind of a curriculum junkie. I love to try things out. I love to see what works for us. And I really, really love when I feel like I hit the jackpot and find exactly what worked best for us. And but I also like to know, because I talk to so many families, especially right now, where a lot of families are choosing to homeschool in a situation where they never dreamed that that is where their life would be, but here we are. And I love to be able to talk to them and hear what their goals are and what their expectations are or what they think they're looking for. And so maybe sometimes I've used something that really wasn't a great fit for our family, but sounds like exactly what they're looking for. And I feel like I'm pretty relaxed in the way that I teach my kids, and I just want to put information in front of them because they are absolutely little sponges, and they love to dig into something when they find out or come across something that's exciting and interesting to them, and I don't ever want them to lose that. And so today I'm going to talk to you about a history curriculum that I discovered a couple years ago, and what surprised me was that history is probably my favorite subject to teach my kids. And I hated it growing up. I hated it in school. I got A's, you guys. I could get A's on all of my assignments because I was really good at memorizing, passing the test, and then forgetting all of that information because it felt super useless. Like there was no real purpose in learning it except to pass this test and move on with my life. But now I'm teaching history to my kids, and you guys, I love it. I love the people. I love the places. I love the stories so much. So today I'm going to share Beautiful Feet books, Early American History. So this is for kindergarten through 3rd grade. So we actually took 2 years to go through this because we had a lot of stuff going on in our life and a lot of changes that I wasn't anticipating and were emotionally very hard for us. So we took our time to go through this, and that's probably the best part about homeschool is that when life happens like that, you can actually just slow down and do what you have to do to survive and get your family through what you're going through, and then get back to it. So we finished this a couple months, I don't know, 4 or 5 months ago probably. But we started it, and right away I was like, I love this. I was pretty sure I was going to love it because we get to read a lot. I get to snuggle up on the couch, read to my kids, and then we can talk about what we've learned. But this is just like, that is why I wanted this. That is what I thought I would love, and there's so much more to it than that, you guys. So I'm super, super, super excited to share this with you. So I'm just going to really quick go through the books that are in the early American history just to give you an idea of them. So throughout it, there are also a series of 4 CDs. We actually listened to these in the car whenever it was time because it felt like we were always going somewhere, so that worked out great. We would listen to these stories to go along with what we were learning. Some of these books, oh, this hurts so much on my stitches. So Pilgrim Stories, Benjamin West and His Cat. I love this author. My daughter probably has 6 other books by this author. Meet Abraham Lincoln, The Landing of the Pilgrims, Squanto, Friend of the Pilgrims, The Year of the Horseless Carriage, The Courage of Sarah Noble, The Matchlock Gun. So those are those. Set those down. So we have Benjamin Franklin, A More Perfect Union. I love this book, you guys. Pocahontas, Buffalo Bill, The Pilgrims of Plymouth, George Washington's Breakfast, The Winter at Valley Forge, The 4th of July Story. I really like this book too. I really like them all. I like books. Jamestown, George Washington, Columbus, Abraham Lincoln, and A Leaf the Lucky. So that is your book list, and there are some other suggested books throughout it. We did get a couple of those to read through a little bit. But so now I'm just going to share with you how this study guide works. And I'm also going to say that when we started doing it, my oldest was in 2nd grade, and we finished when she was in 3rd grade. So my son is a year younger than her, and then my youngest son is, in theory, 2 grade levels behind him. So last year they were third, second, and preschool. But so what I also love, and I know from looking on the homeschool boards, that there are tons and tons of people out there looking for something they can teach family style. Because why not? Why have to individually teach every subject with your kids? Teach to the older kids grade level, and then water it down a little if you need to for the younger kids, or add in more for your older kids. So that is what we are going to, that is how we used this, was I just read to them all as a group, and my expectations of what they did was different, sorry. Okay. So your lesson plan is laid out just like this. This is the first lesson, and this is, I believe, designed to be done 3 days a week, 2 or 3 days a week. Now I'm not 100% sure, but I think we were doing it 3 days a week. So as you'll see, there are some Bible verses and quotes in here, which I think is fantastic. Your kids can really relate the Bible to, lunch is done, the Bible to the lesson that they're learning about. So we're going to go through here, and I'll just page through a little bit, okay? So the lessons are really simple to follow. It tells you discuss Proverbs and the verses that you're going to talk about, and then just it's like this one has them copied into a notebook. But what are you talking about? Like, you and your kids can discuss what that really means. And then from the picture packet that is on their website, you print out a page to color, and it's going to have a sentence or a phrase or quotes or something that you write alongside that picture. Like here, define self-control, and then you talk about how the people in the stories did or didn't exhibit that character trait. And I really liked that. Now I want to get to another part that I loved. So when we were talking about the pilgrims, it was like we talked about the story from 2 different points of view and compared them. And I thought that was a really fun way for the kids to understand that history happens from more than one point of view, and to say, while this was happening for one person, this was happening for another person. And I found that to be an amazing, amazing thing. And I like that throughout this book, you talk about somebody from history, and I'm just drawing a blank on the example I wanted to use, but you're going to dig into their character and what made them the person that they were and what made them effective. And then you move on and you compare that person that you're now learning about to whoever you just finished learning about, and talk about their differences and their similarities. So another thing, a couple more things. There's so much I love, I can't even help it. But here we're talking about the preamble to the Constitution. And so throughout this lessons surrounding this page, they actually work on memorizing that, which there's a few different things that they work on memorizing that I think are fantastic. But now I'm going to get to my favorite part of this. We learned a lot just by reading, but another skill that I think this really encouraged was at one point they stood up and they gave an oral report on who they were learning about. So maybe it was Benjamin Franklin. I don't remember the instance. So my daughter stood up with her notebook and she read to me from her pages and added in whatever else she could remember about him that they had learned. So I thought that was a great skill, because public speaking can be a really hard skill for a lot of people. So having the opportunity to do it where it's not a pressure-filled situation, where it is no big deal, but still they get the practice, was amazing. But Beautiful Feet Books took it even further. And when we got to Abraham Lincoln, they were working on a report throughout a few different days. As they're reading about him, they're also taking some time to work on a report about him, his birth, his life, the things that he went through and experienced and what happened to his life, how he was a part of history, what things he accomplished. So she could go through her notebook. I just used a regular notebook for this, but she could go through it and in chronological order, write down the things that were about his life in a rough draft. And then we went through together, we edited it, and she took a couple days and wrote it as a final draft. So she had time throughout this early American history to do both oral and written reports. And as you could see in here with these questions, you guys, you could have your children write the answers. We did not do that. Next year, my daughter's going to do history of the horse because she's obsessed with horses. So she's super excited about it, and it is something that I will likely have her do independently. So I will have her write the answers down. Probably. That's my plan. And anything can happen, things can change. But that is what my intention is for her for this coming year for history. But again, this is for ages kindergarten through third grade, but you have kids a little older, kids a little younger. You can add them all in, and you can dig deeper, find more books, do more research, write more papers. So many ways to make this work for your family. Now, having said all of that and how much I completely, totally, absolutely love Beautiful Feet books and fully intend to use it for all of the years for my children. At one point last year, my middle son, he didn't like it. It was not working for him, and it was super clear to both of us that this was not working for him. He is very much a workbook-oriented kid. He would prefer to just fill out a page in a workbook every day for everything. However, history is a little different, and you just have to read more for history. But at that point, this was not a good fit for him. It was disrupting all of us. So he took a break. We worked a different way with history for him. I'm going to try around the world with my boys this coming year, and let them work on that together. So I'm going to see how that goes now that we took a break and gave him the opportunity to learn in a way that worked for him. And then in a couple years, we are going to go back to, I don't remember what we're going to do, what my plan is to do, ancient history maybe? I can't remember. But so we're going to try around the world with him next year, because while it wasn't a good fit this last year, and maybe it won't be a good fit for him, I am hoping that we can come back and circle around where it works for him just as well as it is for the rest of us. Yeah, that's just what I want to say. So if you're a new homeschool parent looking at this video, I want you to know that just because something isn't working, it's okay. You can stop. You can try something new. That is really one of the biggest benefits to homeschooling, is that if it isn't working, you can change it up. However, I hope you check this out because I love this. My next video is actually going to be about the character training by Beautiful Feet books, because I also love that. So you guys, I'm going to drop some links in the comments, and I'm also going to leave a link to my actual blog post about this. So I hope you'll let me know if you have some questions or comments. If you've used this, I would love to hear what your thoughts are. And also, if you have older kids, you guys, there is an intermediate American history where you could work alongside each other in it, I think. So check it out, you guys. But this is amazing, 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 and a lot of fun. And I mean, to me, it didn't feel like it was a lot of work for my kids. It was a time where we could bond, we could snuggle, we could read. So I will talk to you soon. Thanks for listening. I know this one got kind of long. I love it so much. I can't even shorten it because there's so many things I like about it. All right, I will talk to you guys later.